Today on Troop Talk, extreme airlift.
I'm Bill Walsh, 30,000 feet above the Caribbean Sea, where air crews are learning to save lives as they turn this C-17 into a flying hospital. We'll take you aboard.
I'm Senior Airman Bobby Pilch, and we just landed in Curaçao, Netherlands Antilles on a resupply and training mission.
I'm Lieutenant Joe Sims in Nicaragua, and I'll be showing you how the United States Air Force delivers humanitarian aid.
I'm Captain Wayne Capps, and we're on aircraft Reach 620. This C-17 behind me, and we're in Lima, Peru with a group of Air Force reservists.
Every day around the world, Air Force and Air Force Reserve crews fly giant C-17 Globemaster IIIs, carrying out one of our military's critical missions, rapid global mobility. Today, crews from Joint Base Charleston and the 315th Airlift Wing take you along to experience extreme airlift. Weighing over 585,000 pounds and almost 5 stories tall, the C-17 is the backbone of America's airlift capability. And Joint Base Charleston has launched 4 missions headed overseas to South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. 650 miles from home base in Charleston, call sign Reach 967 has turned their aircraft into a flying hospital.
I'm Lieutenant Colonel Bill Walsh. When a troop is wounded in combat, it's vital to get that person off the battlefield and medical attention fast. This mission is called Aeromedical Evacuation, or better known in the Air Force as Aeromed. Their job? Saving lives.
I think it's a huge responsibility when both the crew and everyone that's involved in the process realizes what's at stake. It's an incredible feeling to bring the men and women back home and get them safe to better care or to their families. So it's an incredible responsibility, but it's incredible rewards as well.
Turning a C-17 into a flying hospital is no easy task, but these planes are designed just for that.
But we have everything that we need. We have our own power, we have our own oxygen source, we have backup plans for all of that. We have highly trained folks, and it runs pretty much, except with taking into consideration all the stressors of flight. It's different from being on the ground because we have other considerations. But it runs pretty smoothly.
Flying wounded out of combat takes skill and guts. Tech Sergeant Price knows from real-life experience that human emotions play a big role.
My first deployment was pretty intense for me too. It's no longer just your friends that you're practicing working on. You've actually got patients who have the external fixators, the loss of limbs, the gunshot wounds to the head. It's a whole different experience, and for me, I have a 10-year-old brother. So to see an 18-year-old boy, I see my 10-year-old brother in 8 years there. So the emotions run really high. All right, Sergeant Ford!
Up next, the crew is put to the test when a patient has psychological issues at 30,000 feet and gets out of hand, threatening the safety of the entire crew. Then, what happens when an aircraft breaks down in a foreign country? You can't just call AAA. When Troop Talk Extreme Airlift continues.
I'm Senior Airman Bobby Pilch with the 315th Airlift Wing. Today, we're taking this C-17 on a training and resupply mission to South America. First up, Dover, Delaware. Then we're heading on to Panama, Peru, Curaçao, then on back to Charleston. It's going to be a busy mission. The mission is to get these vital supplies to Peru and Curacao, but a hydraulic leak has put that on hold, keeping this aircrew on the ground.
We had a little maintenance problem with a hydraulic line that has a special connector on it, and there could be no leaks on that connector. It's a special 4,000 PSI hydraulic line.
Our crew chief is working the problem, and the news is not good. Already a day behind. This will no doubt put the mission behind schedule.
I don't know. Doing the passport.
Meanwhile, 350 miles to the northeast over the Caribbean Sea, aboard Reach 967, aeromedical evacuation crews have turned their C-17 into a flying hospital, and the commander has put her team to the test to see how they handle a patient out of control, a scenario that could jeopardize the safe flight of the aircraft.
I'm getting it right now.
All right. Go ahead. Whoa.
Whoa, man.
Whoa, try not to.
Hold on. Keep talking to her at the same time. Keep talking.
All right, let him hold her. Whoa. Okay. Whoa. Exit. Y'all get her away from the exit. Got it.
All right, Cox, you talking to her?
That's fine.
That'd be awesome.
I need one other person back with me.
All right, or you go back there with her.
Whoa.
All right, we got to keep an eye on the rest of these people. I'm on headset. If you need anything, let me know. I'm gonna do.
It's not just wounds you can see on the outside of the body that aeromedical evacuation medical crews have to be able to deal with. In this scenario, members of the squadron are being put to the test when role-playing patients can't settle down and could threaten the safety of the aircraft.
Okay, y'all, the Haldol is not working. She's threatening the airplane. Go ahead and put her in restraint.
You give her another.
That'd be awful.
These crews have to be ready for anything, especially when it comes to medical evacuation. Medical Crew Director Lieutenant Colonel Jacobs says that training and going by the book is critical when it comes to critical care.
We have a patient that is actually having an issue because of mental and or physical issues that does not make them safe for the aircraft, other patients, or people who are on planes such as the front end crew. What we do is we follow protocol, and that protocol allows us to chemical as well as physical restraint.
Next, on the ground in Managua, Nicaragua, Lieutenant Joe Sims shows us how humanitarian aid gets delivered to people in need. Then, fixing a broken aircraft in Panama and delivering goods to Peru. And later, balancing life in the Air Force Reserve with a civilian career when Troop Talk Extreme Airlift continues. Across the Americas, airlift crews from the Air Force Reserve's 315th Airlift Wing are completing their missions. Thousands of miles from their home base of Charleston, South Carolina, a jet has a problem with a main hydraulic line during a stop in Panama. Senior Airman Bobby Pilch is with them.
Fixing a huge C-17 is no easy task. It takes time and training. On this mission, our hydraulic leak is looking a little more serious.
Unfortunately, we have a hydraulic leak on the left main landing gear. We've had our crew chief on board here go out and inspect it. He's contacted Charleston Command Post, and they've discussed the issue, and they've determined that it's going to require some experts to come in here with the proper equipment to fix the problem.
The crew is meticulous when it comes to fixing the jet, and they have to be. Safety is always first, and this problem requires special equipment not available in Panama to get the job done.
So they had to fly an MRT team, which is a specialized maintenance crew that comes down and can work on the hydraulic line and bring special equipment to change out that line.
Generating the rescue mission from back in Charleston will take more time, so the crew has no choice but to wait.
Meanwhile, 550 miles north, Lieutenant Joe Sims is en route to Managua, Nicaragua. The aircrew has their hands full, dodging thunderstorms during the tropical rainy season and maneuvering around dangerous mountains to get the job done.
This is Lieutenant Joe Sims on Reach 967 with the 300th Airlift Squadron delivering humanitarian aid to the people of Nicaragua.
From school supplies to computers, clothing and more, this is where the Denton Cargo Program, allowing free space on military aircraft to be used for humanitarian aid, makes a difference for people all around the world. Lieutenant Jenna Unken is at the controls, flying this huge jet full of vital cargo.
Yeah, there's always, people who are less fortunate than we are, and it's always nice to be able to take our resources, what we can allocate, and help them out. And certainly not everybody out there is as lucky as we are. So it's always a feel-good feeling, I guess, to be able to help somebody else out.
Lieutenant Onken is the rookie pilot on this mission, where delivering cargo is just one part of the training these crews get. Flying has always been her passion.
I started flying when I was 15, working at a flight school, and military is always something that appealed to me, and went the civilian route first, and did all of my flight training licenses through the FAA, and decided it would be good for me personally to use those skills as a pilot to help out other people and help out the United States, whatever way I can. So in the C-17, Charleston's close to where I'm from in Atlanta, and we have a good mission. I'm able to do things like this, and being a reservist, I can do part-time and still keep my civilian job.
After sweating out a tough day landing on foreign soil, the crew in the back of the aircraft goes to work, and the loadmaster leads the way.
As a loadmaster, we're responsible for figuring the weight and balance of the aircraft, the CG, so the CG is centered as much as possible to keep the aircraft level in flight. We're responsible for passenger safety, the onload and offload of cargo, and delivery of cargo. We do a check rise about once every year. So we've got a year and a half to do it, get the next one done, and within 6 months of that year and a half mark. And during a check ride, you're evaluated on your ability to load the aircraft safely and correctly. You're evaluated on your knowledge base of the aircraft systems, the aircraft limitations, and your knowledge on emergency procedures and what would you do when something catastrophic could happen. I like to go over, just read through sections in our publications that I haven't gone through for a while, kind of freshen up, because you never know what's going to happen at your next stop. You never know what you're going to face, what kind of cargo you're going to get. It could be something you've never seen before. So if you have a good, strong knowledge base on how to load this airplane, you can't lose.
Back in Panama, Reach 620 is finally fixed after a 2-day delay, while a maintenance rescue crew flew down from their home base in Charleston to fix a specialized hydraulic line. But they have one last problem before they can take off.
Right now we're currently delayed here in Panama once again because of the pushback requirement. We can back the aircraft. It's a very capable aircraft to back, but the Panamanian Airport Authority will not let us crank up and power back. So we have to wait for 30 extra minutes for this special piece of equipment, a tug, which is a large, heavy piece of equipment to push the airplane back in order for us to get away from the terminal.
When we return, finally off the ground, Reach 620 heads for Peru while Air Force reservists balance their military lives with civilian ones. When Troop Talk Extreme Airlift continues. While flying these specialized missions, each C-17 crew member has something in common. They're all reservists, balancing a full-time civilian career with their military obligations. Captain Wayne Capps explains how they do it.
Hi, I'm Captain Wayne Capps, and right now I'm in Lima, Peru with this Charleston-based C-17 crew behind me. It's been a busy whirlwind weekend as we've touched down in 4 different countries. Right now the entire crew are Air Force reservists, and they're trying to manage a very busy civilian career and family life with a part-time Air Force job.
The old stigma of a reservist working 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year is a thing of the past, and with today's high operations tempo, more time is needed.
Lima, reach 620. We are level flight level 220.
Minimum.
The old paradigm of 1 week in a month and 2 weeks during the summer has kind of been broken, especially as an Air Force pilot and as a loadmaster or a crew chief. It's a little bit more demanding now with the current training requirements and all the new commitments that you have as an air crew. So it's going to take a little bit more.
The balancing act between a reserve job and a civilian career can be challenging.
Well, as a traditional reservist, our job on the civilian side of the house tends to be really tough when trying to balance the reserve duty. However, reserve duty really exemplifies what we are to our service of our nation. When it comes to balancing currencies, doing missions, flying, this is what it's all about.
One way to balance a reserve job and a civilian career is to utilize carefully planned weekend missions designed specifically for the reservist with limited availability.
Outside of the reserves, I'm involved with a startup school security company, and we help train local schools and the staff there to be prepared for incidents where the school might be evacuated, locked down, or the shelter in place. This particular itinerary is a pretty good fit for the traditional reservists and also some of the reservists that work full-time at the base, because the time away from home isn't quite as long. It's a 3 or 4 day mission. Sometimes if you have maintenance issues, that can drag out a little bit longer. But it's not too bad. My personal circumstances with family and work, I can give 3 and 4 days at a time, much longer than that, and I really have to coordinate a lot of child care and support for my family back home. So a mission like this is a real nice fit for me. It's one reason I'm on it.
Back to the mission. These reservists on Reach 620, despite maintenance issues, torrential weather, and logistics issues, were able to deliver their cargo to Peru and Curacao, completing their mission.
Every problem we've had, it's been taken care of, and we've moved the mission, and so far so good. We're on track. A little late, but we're on track.
Well, we just dropped off our last piece of cargo, which was a 6,000-pound aircraft engine here in Curacao. Now, after going into our 20-hour workday, we're heading back home to Charleston.
Every day around the world, airmen from the United States Air Force Reserve are serving their country and doing their part to make America safer, providing aid to our foreign allies, or taking care of fellow service members who've been injured, fighting to make the world a better place. Thank you for flying with us today and taking part in Extreme Airlift. Join us next time for another exciting edition of Troop Talk.
Red lights on, good job.